Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden conversations that are happening right now inside our healthcare systems. Now, these aren't spoken words, but they are a powerful digital language, the silent backbone of modern medicine.
So, have you ever wondered how your lab results just magically show up in your doctor's system? Well, spoiler alert, it's not magic. It's actually a highly structured digital language that makes sure critical information gets exactly where it needs to go, both accurately and instantly. This silent, constant exchange of data is what makes so much of modern healthcare even possible.
Before we had a common standard, medical systems were basically like people trying to have a conversation but all speaking different languages. The result, well, it was chaos. We're talking manual data entry, endless games of phone tag, and a really high risk for dangerous errors. The standard known as HL7 completely changed the game by creating the universal language they all needed to speak.
All right, so how does this conversation actually work? Well, at its very heart are two absolutely crucial message types. And these two handle the entire life of a clinical order, from the moment it's requested to the second the final result comes in.
So, what is HL7? It stands for Health Level 7. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as the universal translator for healthcare. It's the thing that allows a hospital's big, complex system to perfectly understand what a lab system is saying and vice versa. It just makes sure everyone is speaking the exact same digital language. Okay, so the first part of any clinical interaction is, of course, the request. And in the world of HL7, that initial command is handled by something called an ORM message.
ORM stands for Order Message. It's exactly what it sounds like. When a doctor orders a blood test or maybe a CT scan in their system, an ORM message is the digital courier that carries that specific command from their system straight to the lab or the radiology department.
The ORM's job is really specific. Its whole purpose is to kick off a request. It's a one-way street, It flows from the ordering system, like an electronic health record, to the performing system, like a lab. And it carries all the vital details, who the patient is, exactly what test is needed, and who ordered it.
And every single ORM message is built with these specific pieces, kind of like a super organized digital form. It starts with a header for routing, the to and from address, basically. Then it identifies the patient, specifies the order's priority, is it stat or routine, and finally details the exact test being requested. This structure makes sure the lab gets the request clearly with zero ambiguity.
All right, so the order is in. Now what? How do we get the answer back? Well, that's the crucial job of the ORU message.
ORU stands for Observation Result Unsolicited. Now that word unsolicited is really the key here. It means the lab pushes the results back to the doctor's system as soon as they're ready. There's no need for the doctor's system to ask again. This ensures doctors get critical information the very moment it becomes available.
So if the ORM message is the one asking the clinical question, the ORU is the one that provides the answer. It flows in the complete opposite direction, from the lab back to the doctor's electronic health record, and its content is all about the data, the actual results, the normal ranges, and any flags for abnormal values.
The structure, you'll notice, looks pretty similar to an ORM, and that's on purpose. It makes sure the result gets linked to the right patient and the right order. But here's the money shot, the OBX segment. This is the payload. This is where the actual lab values, like a cholesterol level or a radiologist's findings, are actually located.
Okay, so now that we know the players, let's put them together. Let's see how these two messages work in tandem in a real-world, high-stakes scenario where every single second counts.
Picture this: a patient comes into the ER with chest pain. A doctor orders urgent blood tests, stat. Instantly, an ORM message fires off to the lab. The lab runs the tests, and the very moment they're done, an ORU message sends those results right back into the patient's chart. In just a matter of minutes, this automated conversation delivers the critical data a doctor needs to make a potentially life-saving decision.
And this really just lays it all out, right? It shows that perfect partnership between the ORM and the ORU. One is the request, the other is the result. One is sent by the doctor's system, the other by the labs. Together, they create this closed loop of communication that is incredibly efficient and super reliable.
This might seem like just a technical detail for the IT folks, but it's so much more than that. This seamless communication has a profound and direct impact on the quality, the safety, and the efficiency of the care that patients like you and me receive every single day.
By automating this whole back and forth, we get rid of dangerous transcription errors. We speed up the entire care process and
Maybe most importantly, we free up our amazing clinicians to focus on their patients, not on chasing down paperwork or lab results over the phone.
And look, the data shows these aren't just tiny little improvements. Proper HL7 integration leads to dramatic, measurable gains. We're talking about a 40% reduction in order errors and getting results back 25% faster. That is a massive impact on efficiency and patient safety.
Of course, making all of this work seamlessly requires some deep expertise, and that's where specialists come into the picture. For over 2 decades, since 1999, Lifepoint Informatics has been a trusted leader in building these vital connections. They're the experts who help labs and hospitals create the integrated systems that power modern healthcare.
And look, while the benefits are crystal clear, let's be real. The path to implementation has its challenges. You've got to navigate different HL7 versions, map complex data between systems, and sometimes integrate with older legacy technology. Successfully getting through these hurdles is what separates a truly seamless system from a frustrating one.
So this kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Is your organization leveraging the full potential of this automated communication? Are there gaps in your workflow that could be closed to improve speed, accuracy, and ultimately patient care?
If you're ready to enhance your system's interoperability, reduce those errors, and improve patient care, the next step is to talk to the experts. You can reach out to the team at Lifepoint Informatics. You can find them online at lifepoint.com, email them at sales@lifepoint.com, or just give them a call at 201-447-9991 to learn how they can build the connections your organization needs.